Hello and welcome to Avasam Insights. My name is Mark, and in this video I wanted to talk to you about creating new products in Avasam from items in your Linnworks inventory. Please note that this video will only be covering product creation for simple or non-variant products, so if you need to look at variation products and creation, we have separate articles and videos to cover that. Now, we're going to move across to Linnworks to start. So obviously we're going to start off in your inventory. Now, a product needs to have 5 specific extended properties in it to make it eligible for Linnworks for Avasam to look for it. So I am just going to grab this and jump across into extended properties. So this one doesn't have those entries, but broadly speaking, the entries you're looking for are Avasam VAT, which is Avasam _VAT, which is the percentage of VAT that you're going to be charging. The Avasam attribute, which should have the value yes. A drop shipping price, which is the price excluding VAT the seller will be paying you. The drop shipping RRP, which is the recommended retail price for that product excluding VAT, so that we can help them to calculate their margins. A drop shipping category code, which tells us which of the categories that goes into for listing purposes, and also you should be aware that we need at least a 20% difference between the dropshipping price and dropshipping RRP. There'll be links to some documentation in the description that will help you to find out what the dropshipping category code is, for example, though you would have had that provided to you as part of your onboarding. They do update occasionally. Your supplier account manager can also help you with a more recent copy of the document. We also have some other minimum requirements for the product data that comes through. So broadly speaking, your item title we will pull through as a title. That should be between 20 and 80 characters. We will grab the short description from the metadata field, and that should be at least 20 characters. We will need at least one image of the product, nice and clear, well lit if possible, as much detail as possible. We can take images between 500 by 500 pixels and 9000 by 9000 pixels. More images are great because it gives more information and more options to show your products to the customers by the sellers. So while we will grab your SKU as the Avasam Supplier product ID, if there's a possible problem with duplication, we may use a different Avasam SKU internally for the sellers. You'll not need to worry about that. We haven't made barcode mandatory, but it is highly recommended, whether it's EAN, UPC, ISBN, whatever. A lot of people are cluing on to searching for products specifically by those now, so that would be great to have. Obviously, we also need to know the dimensions and the weight. So we take the dimensions in centimeters and the weight in kilograms, but obviously Linnworks will convert those, so just ensure that the details are accurate. We would also ask that you include a product brand, which is mandatory. Now, I'll talk to you about that in a moment, in how you can get around that if you don't normally provide it. We also have an expectation, especially for colour and size, to be mandatory for some categories. Currently that includes fashion, as you can imagine, in order to make it easier for people to find what they're looking for. So once you have prepared an item, then that's available for you to sync across to Linnworks. Alternatively, if you're looking to update multiple items, what you can do instead is go to settings and go to import data, and what you can do is you can create an import under import now with a name, say for example some product update. That will mean that you know what it means later on, so you can reuse it as an inventory import. Now what you need to do now is create a file which has the SKUs of the items, the 5 fields I mentioned, and if you don't normally have them but can provide them, the colour, the size and the brand. And you want to import the file. Make sure that you have matched up the appropriate fields. To be able to bring in what you need, and you can hit run now. That will bring that information in for all the products that have SKUs in there. Now for example brand, what you'll be wanting to do is bring that in as an extended what you want to do with brand and the other details is to bring it in as an extended property. Now to do that, you click item extended property here. It will inherit the name of the extended property from the name of the file column, but you can change that and it should be an attribute. Now you'll want that to be true. You'll want that to be the factor that you map for all 5 of those properties that I named earlier on. So Avasam, Avasam VAT, dropshipping price, dropshipping RRP and dropshipping category code. But you'll also obviously, if you're bringing them in, want a colour, brand and size. So once you've hit run now, it will drop you back to here. It will change the status to awaiting first run and queued. When it's completed, it will show you the last time that it imported in here, and you can look at the logs if there's any problems that it reports. So once you have done that and made that import, you can jump to one of the items in my inventory and check to make sure it's been updated. And then if you swap across to Avasam, then what we're going to do is go to settings. We're going to go to inventory settings. No, sorry, product mappings. Now in here we have mapped the extended properties that are in the product and which of the Avasam catalog attributes they're going to go to. So you'd need to make sure that, especially for brand or for colour, these were mapped, and for model there, as you can see, where it's appropriate. If you don't have brand and you don't normally provide a brand, what you can do here instead is to map brand to brand, but give it a default value of unbranded. This means that the system knows that you have a brand, because it is obviously automatically, it's also a mandatory field. But by saying it's unbranded, it means you haven't assigned one, and the system can index it appropriately. Adding new mapping adds a column. Hit save when you've done them all. Hit settings to go back. The next step is to go to inventory settings, and you want to come down to Linnworks settings, and you want to hit sync inventory and prices. This will indicate that Avasam should go and look for new products and use the settings that you've set up there to make sure it pulls across the right information from the items it finds under your inventory in Linnworks. All products go into the Avasam staging environment initially, where they're checked by the system and they're checked by the catalogue team and flagged for any queries or errors they may have. I will talk to you in the next video, which is linked in the description, about how you investigate and review and address those issues. Now, if you have any questions at this stage, please don't hesitate to reach out to us, whether it's by telephone, live chat, or via the email support@avasam.com. And thank you for taking the time for watching again.